What if I told you there's a way to reprogram your life while you sleep? That the last 5 minutes before bed could be the key to everything you want. Money, relationships, peace, and that most people waste this moment on their phones, sabotaging their entire future. You've probably heard of manifestation. But here's the problem. Most people do it wrong. They shout at the universe like it's a fast food drive-thru, then get mad when their order doesn't arrive in 30 seconds. The ancient way is different. It's not about forcing, it's about aligning. And it starts with one simple habit: asking the universe before you sleep why your current night routine is broken. You're lying in bed, exhausted. The day was long. Your mind is cluttered. What do? You reach for your phone. Maybe you scroll through social media. Someone's on vacation. Someone got engaged. Someone's arguing about politics. Or maybe you watch the news. Another crisis. Another thing to worry about. Then you turn off the lights and try to sleep. But your brain doesn't just shut off like a switch. It keeps running. It replays everything you just fed it. The stress, the comparisons, the noise. Think of your mind like a pond. When you throw rocks into it, angry thoughts, worries, distractions, the water gets muddy. And when you try to sleep in that state, you're not resting, you're letting that mud settle into your subconscious. By morning, you wake up feeling heavy, like you barely slept at all. That's because your brain wasn't resetting overnight. It was marinating in chaos. The ancient masters understood this better than anyone. They knew that the last thoughts before sleep don't just disappear, they seep into your dreams. They shape your first thoughts when you wake up. They set the tone for your entire next day. If you go to bed anxious, you'll wake up anxious. If you go to bed feeling lack, you'll wake up feeling lack. It's not magic, it's cause and effect. So what's the alternative? It starts with recognizing that the last hour before bed isn't just downtime, it's programming time. What you consume, what you watch, what you think about, what you focus on, is setting the stage for your subconscious to work while you sleep. If you fill it with noise, your mind will spin all night. If you fill it with calm, your mind will reset. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about intentional thinking. The brain doesn't distinguish between good and bad input. It just absorbs whatever you give it. So if you spend those last moments before sleep consuming stress, your subconscious will treat stress as but if you spend those moments in stillness, in gratitude, in clarity, your subconscious will start to align with that instead. The first step is simple. Put the phone down, not right before bed, but at least 30 minutes before. The light from screens tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, disrupting your sleep cycle. But beyond that, the content you consume lingers. A 5-minute argument online can churn in your mind for hours. A stressful headline can become a restless night. Instead, try this. Sit quietly for just 5 minutes before bed. No distractions, no inputs, just you and your breath. Let your mind settle like that pond. No new rocks, no stirring up the mud. Observe the thoughts that come up, but don't engage. This isn't about forcing silence. It's about allowing it. Over time, this small shift changes everything. Your sleep becomes deeper, your mornings become lighter, because you're no longer letting the world dictate your inner state. Before bed, you're taking control of it. And when you do that consistently, your entire life starts to shift. Not because the outside circumstances changed, but because you did. How the universe listens. The wrong way versus the right way. Most people treat the universe like a vending machine. They walk up to it, punch in their demands. I need money, I need love, I need this to happen now. And then shake the machine when nothing comes out. They think manifestation is about force, about urgency, about repeating the same desperate words over and over like but that's not how it works. The universe doesn't respond to panic. It doesn't respond to begging. It responds to resonance. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you're stuck on static, screaming at the radio won't help. You have to gently adjust the dial until the signal comes in clear. That's how alignment works. You're not shouting at the universe, you're matching its frequency. So what's the difference between the wrong way and the right way? The wrong way is rooted in lack. It comes from a place of I don't have this, and I need it desperately. That energy repels what you want, because it's vibrating on the frequency of scarcity. The right way is rooted in trust. It comes from a place of I am open to receiving this, and I know it's on its way. That energy attracts because it's vibrating on the frequency of abundance. Here's an example. Imagine two people trying to manifest financial stability. The first one says, I'm so broke. I need money right now. Why isn't anything working? Every word is charged with fear. Every thought reinforces the lack. The universe hears that vibration and reflects it back. More struggle, more frustration. The second one says, I am grateful for the money that flows to me easily. I trust that opportunities are coming. That doesn't mean they're ignoring reality. It means they're choosing to focus on the solution, not the problem. The universe hears that vibration and reflects it back. More opportunities, more flow. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your focus from what's missing to what's possible. The universe is always responding to you. The question is, what are you broadcasting? A practical way to apply this is to reframe your requests. Instead of saying, I need this to happen, try saying, I am open to this happening in the best way possible. That slight shift removes the desperation. It removes the attachment to how it should happen. It leaves room for the universe to work in ways you might not expect. Another key is to act as if you want peace. Don't just say, I want peace. Start embodying peace in small ways now. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Let go of unnecessary arguments. Choose calm over chaos. When you do that, you're not just asking for peace. You're aligning in it. And alignment is what makes manifestation real. The universe isn't some distant force you have to beg for help. It's always responding, always reflecting. Your job isn't to control it. Your job is to align with it. And when you do, everything changes. The walls between your thoughts and the deeper parts of yourself thin out. It's not quite waking, not quite dreaming. It's that hazy middle ground where things sink in without resistance. This is where real change happens. Not through force, not through repetition, but through a simple, clear request, followed by surrender. Most people get the first part right. They ask, but they ruin it immediately after by clinging. They ask for money, then spend the next hour worrying about bills. They ask for love, then scroll through dating apps anxiously. They ask for peace, then replay every stressful moment from their day. This isn't asking. This is taking back your request before the universe can even respond. Here's how to do it different. In those last quiet minutes before sleep, say this: Universe, show me the path to your desire. I release my need to control how it arrives. I am ready to receive. Then, and this is the part that matters most, let go. Not the kind of letting go that means you don't care. Not apathy, the kind of letting go that means you trust. Like planting a seed in soil and walking away. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You don't yell at it to hurry. You let nature do its work. This is the hardest part for most people. We're conditioned to believe that if we're not struggling, we're not trying. That if we're not worrying, we're not serious. But struggle and worry don't create, they block. Every time you obsess over how something will happen, you are telling the universe you don't believe it can happen without your interference. You're putting your hands back on the steering wheel instead of letting yourself be guided. Think of it like ordering food at a restaurant. You don't keep shouting your order at the kitchen after you've already told the waiter. You don't run back there to check if they're making it right. You sit, you wait, you trust that your meal is coming. The universe works the same way. Once you've asked, your job is to release, to stop checking, to stop doubting. This doesn't mean you do nothing. Action is still required. But it's inspired action, not forced action. When you let go, you create space for the universe to send you signals. Maybe you'll wake up with an idea. Maybe you'll meet someone who points you in the right direction. Maybe an opportunity will land in your lap that you never expected. But none of that can happen if you're too busy gripping your desire so tightly that there's no room for anything else. So tonight, try this. Ask clearly, then release completely. Not because you're giving up, but because you're opening up. The universe doesn't need your help to deliver. It just needs you to get out of the way. Why silence is your secret weapon. After you ask, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Not nothing as in laziness, nothing as in stillness. Silence isn't empty, it's full. It's the space where the universe speaks. Most people can't handle this. They ask for what they want, then immediately fill the silence with doubt. But what if it doesn't happen? What if I'm not good enough? What if I missed my chance? This is like sending a text and then spamming the person with 20 more before they can even reply. You're not giving the universe room to answer. You're jamming the signal with your own noise. Silence is where trust lives. When you can sit in the quiet after asking, without rushing to fill it with fear, you're telling the universe you believe in the process. You're not checking your phone every 5 minutes for a sign. You're not trying to force things to move faster. You're allowing. Think about how nature works. A seed doesn't make noise when it grows. It doesn't announce its progress. It just does what it's meant to do, in silence, until the moment it breaks through the soil. Your desires are the same. The most important part of the process happens beneath the surface, where you can't see it, where you can't control it, where you have to trust that even though nothing looks like it's changing, everything is. This is why meditation is so powerful. It's not about clearing your mind. It's about creating space between your thoughts, so that something deeper can come through. When you sit in silence, you're not just waiting, you're listening, and the universe speaks in whispers, a gut feeling, a sudden knowing, a dream that sticks with you. These are the answers you miss when you're too busy talking over them. So after you ask, practice silence, not just outer silence. No music, no distractions, but inner silence. No mental bargaining, no rehearsing conversations, no replaying old stories, just quiet. The more you do this, the clearer the signals become, because the universe isn't ignoring you. You've just been too loud to hear it. The morning after, how to spot the signs. You wake up, the room is quiet. The first light of day slips through the curtains. This is the moment, before the world rushes in, before the to-do lists take over, where the universe speaks loudest. But most people miss it. They reach for their phones before their feet even touch the floor. They flood their minds with noise before the whispers can be heard. The universe doesn't shout. It doesn't send fireworks or flashing signs. It works in subtlety. A thought that floats into your mind while you're brushing your teeth. A song that plays at just the right moment. A stranger who says something that feels meant for you. These aren't coincidences, they're clues, but you have to be paying attention. Most people expect answers to come in obvious ways. They think if they ask for money, a briefcase of cash will fall from the sky. If they ask for love, their soulmate will knock on their door. But the universe works through steps, not leap. The money might come as an idea, something you hadn't considered before. The love might come as a lesson, something you needed to heal first. The path won't look like you imagined, it'll look better if you stop resisting. The key is to stay open, not just to what you want, but to how it might arrive. If you're too fixated on the how, you'll miss the what. You might be waiting for a promotion at work, while the universe is trying to guide you towards starting your own business. You might be waiting for someone to love you, while the universe is trying to show you how to love yourself first. The signs are always there, but they require trust. Try this. For the next 3 mornings, don't reach for your phone right away. Set for just 1 minute. Eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. And let your mind wander. Notice the first thought that comes. Notice the feeling in your body. The universe speaks through your intuition before logic drowns it out. That quiet nudge, that sudden knowing, that's your answer. And when the signs come, don't dismiss them because they seem too small. A single step is still movement. A single word can still change everything. The universe doesn't owe you drama. It offers you whispers. Lean in when it doesn't work. The truth no one says. You've done everything right. You asked. You visualized. You let go. But nothing's changed. The bank account's the same. The relationship's the same. The frustration grows. What now? Here's the truth no one wants to say. If it's not working, you're still holding on. Not in an obvious way. Not in the way where you're obsessing over it every second, but in the quiet, hidden corners of your mind. You might have said the words, I release this, but if you're still checking for results like a kid shaking a piggy bank, you haven't let go. You've just disguised your grip as patience. The universe isn't a genie. It doesn't respond to demands. It responds to energy. And if your energy is still rooted in lack, in why isn't this here yet, then that's what you'll keep creating. Lack. The universe is a mirror. It doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. If you're clenched in fear, it reflects fear. If you're open in trust, it reflects trust. This is why so many people struggle with manifestation. They think it's about saying the right words or following the right step, but it's not about the words. It's about the feeling behind them. You can say, I am abundant all day, but if you're saying it through gritted teeth while worrying about rent, the universe hears the worry, not the word. So if nothing's shifting, ask yourself, am I truly surrendered? Or am I secretly attached to this happening my way? Attachment isn't love, it's control in disguise, and control is the opposite of trust. This doesn't mean you give up, it means you dig deep. Maybe what you're asking for isn't what you actually need. Maybe there's a block you haven't faced, a fear you haven't acknowledged. The universe isn't withholding from you, it's protecting you, or preparing you, or redirecting you towards something better. The only way out is through the doubt, through the discomfort, through the not knowing. When you stop treating the universe like a vending machine and start treating it like a partner, everything changes. You stop demanding and start allowing, and that's when the magic happens. Not because the universe finally listened, because you finally did. The Sleep Lab study. Science meets ancient wisdom. There's a quiet revolution happening in sleep labs around the world. Scientists are discovering what ancient masters knew all along, that the time between when your head hits the pillow and when you wake up isn't just empty space, it's active, creative space. Your brain isn't just resting when you sleep, it's working, solving, creating. But here's what's fascinating. It works best when you give it the right instructions before you drift off. Picture this. 2 groups of people go to sleep with a problem on their mind. One group just thinks about the problem randomly. The other group takes 30 seconds to clearly define the problem before sleeping. The results: the second group wakes up with significantly more solutions. Why? Because they didn't just throw a question into the darkness. They aimed it. They directed their subconscious where to focus its power. This isn't magic, it's neuroscience. When you sleep, your brain replays your day's experiences. but it does something remarkable. It connects dots you couldn't see while awake. It finds patterns. It sees possibilities, but it needs direction. Think of it like giving a search command to the most powerful supercomputer in existence, your sleeping mind. The quality of your question determines the quality of the answer. Ask, why does this always happen to me? And your brain will find all the reasons why you're stuck. Ask, how can I move through this with grace? And your brain will find pathways forward. The ancient practice of contemplation before sleep wasn't just spiritual, it was practical neuroscience before we had the word for it. Here's how to use this tonight. Right before sleep, take that thing you're wrestling with and frame it as an open-ended question. Not, why can't I find love, but how might love find its way to me? Not, why am I always struggling, but what would financial ease feel like? Then let it go completely. Don't try to force answers, just ask, then release. The more you trust this process, the more startling the morning insights become. Your sleeping mind is like a master craftsman in a workshop. You wouldn't rush in while they're working, demanding to see progress. You'd leave them to it, knowing they'll show you when they're ready. That's how you need to treat this process. Ask, then try. The answers will come, sometimes as clear thoughts upon waking, sometimes as sudden knowings during your day, sometimes as unexpected opportunities that seem to arrive out of nowhere. The one-word shift that changes everything. Language isn't just how we communicate, it's how we create. Every word you say, especially the ones you repeat to yourself, is a blueprint your subconscious follows to build your reality. And there's one word that most people use that keeps them stuck in lack, in longing, in perpetual dissatisfaction. That word is what. When you say, I want peace, what are you actually telling your mind? You're telling it that you don't have peace, that peace is somewhere out there, not here, that it's something to be acquired, not something to be experienced. Your subconscious takes these instructions literally. It keeps you in a state of wanting, never having, not because it's cruel, but because it's obedient. It's giving you exactly what you're asking for, the experience of wanting. Now try this. I have peace. Feel how that lands differently. It's not a lie. It's not pretending. It's recognizing that peace isn't just some future destination. It's available right now, in this breath, in this moment, if you choose it. This isn't word games. This is neurological reprogramming. Your brain believes what you tell it, especially the things you repeat. The shift from want to have is the difference between standing outside a house, wishing you could go in, and actually turning the doorknob. Both are true in their own way. You may want more peace than you currently experience, but you also already have access to more peace than you're probably using. The word have opens that door. This works for anything. I want love keeps love at arm's length. I have love opens you to the love already around you, from friends, from family, from life itself, while creating space for more. I want money reinforces scarcity. I have abundance tunes you into the abundance that exists right now, the skills you possess, the opportunities around you, the value you can create. The most powerful part, this isn't fantasy, it's foresight. When you say, I have, instead of I want, you're not lying about your current circumstances. You're speaking from the future you're creating. You're describing reality from the perspective of where you're going, not just where you are. This is how change begins, not by fighting against your present, but by speaking from your future. Try this today. For every I want that comes to mind, Pause. Reword it as I have. Don't worry if it doesn't feel true yet. The feeling will follow the words, not the other way around. You're not deceiving yourself. You're leading yourself, one word at a time. Why gratitude isn't just a platitude. Gratitude gets dismissed too easily. People hear, be grateful, and they think it means slapping a smile on when you're hurting, pretending everything's fine when it's not. But that's not gratitude, that's denial. Real gratitude is something far more powerful. It's the act of finding the light in the darkness without denying the darkness exists. It's saying, this is hard, and there is still good here. That "and" makes all the difference. When you practice gratitude before sleep, you're not just listing nice things that happen. You're reprogramming your mind's default settings. The human brain has what scientists call a negativity bias. It's wired to notice threats, problems, what's missing. This kept our ancestors alive. But it can make modern life feel heavier than it needs to be. Gratitude is the counterbalance. Each thing you name that you're grateful for is like a counterweight to that natural tilt toward the negative. But here's what most people miss. Gratitude works best when it's specific. Not "I'm grateful for my health," but "I'm grateful that my legs carried me up the stairs today without pain." Not "I'm grateful for my family," but "I'm grateful for how my sister made me laugh this afternoon." The more specific, the more real it feels. The more real it feels, the deeper it sinks in. And the most powerful gratitude often comes on the hardest day, when you can look at a day where everything went wrong and still find 3 things to be grateful for. That's not Pollyannish. That's strength. That's the kind of resilience that changes lives. Because life will give you hard days. The question isn't whether they'll come, but what you'll take from them. The practice is simple but profound. Each night before sleep, name 3 specific things you're grateful for from that day. They don't have to be big. The smell of coffee in the morning, a text from an old friend, a moment of quiet. What matters is that you pause long enough to let the feeling of gratitude actually land in your body, not just rush through your mind. This isn't just feel-good advice. Research shows people who practice gratitude consistently report fewer health complaints, better sleep, and greater happiness. But you don't need studies to prove it. Try it for yourself. For the next 3 nights, no matter what kind of day you've had, find 3 specific things to be grateful for. Name them, feel them. Then notice how you sleep. Notice how you wake up. The difference might surprise you. The 3-day test. Try this tonight. Change doesn't usually happen in an instant. It happens through consistent practice, through showing up day after day, even when you can't see results yet. That's why most people miss their breakthroughs. They quit right before the shift was about to happen. The 3-day test is about pushing past that point, giving something real enough time to work before deciding whether it does. Here's how it works. For the next 3 nights, you're going to create a simple but powerful bedtime ritual. First, put your phone away 30 minutes before sleep. This alone will make a difference. No last-minute scrolling, no emails, no blue light tricking your brain into thinking it's daytime. Just quiet. Second, ask one clear question as you're falling asleep. Not a list of demands, not a vague wish, but one focused question about something that matters to you. Third, and this is the hardest part for most people, trust that the answer is already on its way. Don't obsess, don't check for signs, just let it go. The first night might feel awkward. You might lie there wondering if you're doing it right. That's normal. The second night you might start noticing small things. A thought that pops up, a feeling of calm, maybe even a dream that seems related. The third night is often when things start clicking into place, when you begin to sense how this practice could work for you long term. But here's the truth. 3 days is just the beginning. It's enough time to get a taste, to see glimpses of what's possible. But real transformation takes longer. The universe tests your faith, not to punish you but to strengthen it. Every time you show up even when you're not sure it's working, you're building the kind of trust that makes miracles possible. This test isn't about getting instant answers, it's about proving to yourself that you can commit to something that matters to you, that you can create space for magic instead of demanding it on your schedule, that you're willing to do more than just wish for change. You're willing to practice it. So tonight start. Put the phone down earlier than usual. Ask your question, then let it go. Do the same tomorrow. And the next day, notice what changes. Notice what stays the same. Most importantly, notice what happens when you give something real time to work, instead of judging it before it's had a chance. That patience alone will change more than you might expect. You don't need to work harder to manifest. You need to interfere less. The universe isn't ignoring you. You're ignoring its language. Tonight ask, then listen. The answer might surprise you.